Hi there, it's Eb from productiveblogging.com. Today I'm going to show you how to save a ton of time every week by scheduling your social media with CoSchedule. It is no secret that I am a big fan of CoSchedule. It is absolutely one of my favourite blogging tools. It has honestly totally revolutionised my life. Not only does it save me a ton of time, but it also allows me to get way more done every week. And it's almost completely taken away one of my most hated jobs off my to-do list. Perhaps you're like me and you really hate spending hours and hours tediously scheduling and rescheduling social media posts, and you wish there was like a way to automate all that so you could just spend more time on your blog, writing blog posts, or actually being sociable on social media. CoSchedule is just the most amazing tool that makes scheduling much quicker, much less tedious, and it will actually automate your social media so you can get your time back. CoSchedule does so many things, from helping me plan my content to keeping me on track with my tasks. For a full explanation of absolutely everything that it does, you can check out my full CoSchedule review, which I'll drop the link in the description below. But in this video, I just want to show you how easy it is to schedule and automate social media with CoSchedule and just how much time you can save. Okay, so let's dive into the back of CoSchedule, and this screen that you're looking at, this is the marketing calendar, and this shows all my social media posts, all my blog posts, everything all in one view. Now obviously when you first get CoSchedule, this will be completely blank, but as you start adding things here, it will eventually get full like mine, and this is just the top of 1 week. If you scroll down, you can see everything that I've got. This is just 1 week of CoSchedule, and then this is the next week, and it goes on and on and on like that. So you can see that I have got a ton of stuff in there, but actually all the green stuff is all things that are automated that CoSchedule has created for me, resharing my evergreen social media posts, and it's only the stuff in the other colours, like the purple over here, and the yellow and the purple and the blue. That's the stuff that I've actually generated myself. So all of that green stuff is stuff that CoSchedule does for me. As you can see, I can get a lot done with CoSchedule without spending actually that much time on social media creation. So the first thing I want to show you is how easy it is to create your social media with CoSchedule. Now, there are two ways of doing this. You can either use CoSchedule in the app, we're looking at the app right now, or you can use CoSchedule right inside of WordPress. So let's just flip over to WordPress and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so if you come into any blog post, if you've got the CoSchedule app, then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of your blog post in the editing screen, scroll on below Yoast, you will find the CoSchedule app. And if I just scroll down a little bit further, not up, down. Okay, so you can see this is the CoSchedule app. Here at the bottom, CoSchedule gives me a section where I can add a social campaign to my blog post. So I've already written and scheduled my blog post out. Now I can schedule some social media to go out at the same time as that blog post, or in fact, any time later on after that blog post has been scheduled. So let's suppose I have just created this blog post today and I'm now wanting to create some social media to go with this blog post. Okay, so to create a new social media post or a new set of social media posts, you're going to click into where it says today, and you are going to choose which social media profiles that you want to share this new blog post with. So I would normally share this blog post with my Facebook, on Instagram, LinkedIn and Twitter. So I just have to choose the profiles. The reason I've got so many profiles in there is because I've also got the social profiles for my food blog. So you can have up to 10 social profiles, and if you need any more, you can pay like an add-on charge for extra. Okay, so once I've chosen my social channels, the next thing I'm going to do is create my post. And this is just like the normal way that you would create a normal social media post. So I'm just going to do a bit of copy and pasting. So I'm going to take out this. It auto-populates with the title and the URL, but I'm going to take out the title because I don't want that to be my post, and I'm just going to paste in some text. Okay, so I pasted in some text. I'm just going to add a few little arrows to say go read this post. So you see I've got my social media post. Freaking out right now because your Google traffic has taken a nosedive. Take a deep calming breath, then read my step-by-step guide on exactly what to do if your Google traffic suddenly drops, and then that links into the URL. So that's my social media post. That's just like a normal social media post that I would write. And you can see one of the coolest features of CoSchedule is it's already grabbed the feature image for this this blog post. So that there is the feature image. But let's say I didn't want the featured image. Let's say I wanted a totally different image. Well, then I could easily X out that image, and then I could choose a totally different image. I could choose a different image from this project, and that gives me all the images that are actually in the blog post that I've created. Or I can upload a new one, or I can pick from all the things I've already uploaded. So let's pick from all the things I've already uploaded. Okay, so this is everything I have uploaded into CoSchedule kind of ever. And then I can just scroll down here and I can pick an image that I think would go nicely with the blog post. So let's just pick this one here with me looking a bit freaked out. So that suits the post. Okay. And then I can choose exactly when I want to schedule. So by default, it's gone to today and best time. This is another brilliant feature of CoSchedule. You can just pick a time that you want to send your post out, or you can let CoSchedule pick a time based on kind of when is best for each social channel, for each of your social media channels. So I'm just going to leave it at best time because I'm going to trust that CoSchedule knows best. And then the final thing that you need to do to create your social media is, if you want to, you can add this post to requeue. And requeue is one of just the coolest features, because what this does is it basically drops any post that you put into requeue, it drops into a queue of all of your posts that you've decided to add to requeue, and then CoSchedule will share and reshare all of the posts that you've got in requeue forever if you want to, or you've got various settings to say, you know, I only want this post to be reshared for 3 times, or whatever you want it to do. You can only reshare it on particular days of the week or between particular dates. There's a lot of flexibility there, but basically the idea is that requeue will reshare this post for as long as you want this post to be reshared for. So I'm definitely going to choose to add this to my requeue, and then I can choose which queue I want to put this post in. So I've set up a bunch of different groups, is what it's called, and each of these different groups will have different rules about when I want to share. But I'm going to drop this one into my evergreen content. So this is my productive blogging evergreen content group, and this is just a group of evergreen posts that can be shared whenever. They're not sort of date dependent. I don't, you know, it's not like I have a separate queue, for example, for Christmas, which only shares between sort of November and December, but this is evergreen, this is all year round, so I'm going to add that to my evergreen queue. So when you're totally happy with the social media that you've got going there, you can then hit save. One tip I would give you, because you've got this best time chosen here, you don't actually know when the best time for it is. And sometimes that best time is immediately. So unless you're totally happy with what you've created now, I would recommend that you do maybe like an hour from now, just so that you can do a few edits to the post if you need to. I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute. So I'm going to stick that on an hour for now, and I'm going to hit save. And the reason I'm going to do that is because then I want to go into a couple of these posts and just tweak them slightly. So the first thing I always do when I've done this, so as you can see, it's created a post for each of those channels. And at the moment, those posts are identical. And actually, this would work for all of those channels. But there are some tweaks that I would like to make. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Instagram post and I'm going to add a bunch of hashtags. So I'm just going to add a little bit of space here and then I'm going to paste in my hashtags. So that's what I always do with Instagram. And the other thing that I'm going to do, actually I don't need to do it on this post, but sometimes I find that whatever I've written is too long for Twitter, and in which case I need to go into my Twitter post here and I need to just take a few words out. I am going to go into my Twitter post because I'm going to add a couple of hashtags. So maybe I'm just going to add the hashtag of SEO and the hashtag of SEO tips, for example. And I'm just going to copy those and save. And then I'm also going to go into my Instagram post and add those in as well. Okay, so as you can see, very, very quickly, very, very speedily, I have created 4 social media posts for each of my social channels to kind of advertise this blog post when it goes out. And the thing I really love about this is you can do it at exactly the same time as you're doing your blog post. So because it's actually like below the blog post, so you've got your blog post up here. Where is it? Yep, here's the blog post, and then you can just scroll down. You've got your Yoast box, and then you've got your CoSchedule box, and so it's just a 5-minute job after you have created your blog post to just pop down here, add in your social media, add it to Requeue, and then that is your social media done for that post. Kind of forevermore. So I don't know what you do, but when before I had CoSchedule, what I would do is I had this kind of ginormous spreadsheet so that I would kind of remember to reshare blog posts that I'd maybe written in the past, and then I wanted to, I have to go in and I create some new social posts, social media posts for that blog post, just to kind of keep it fresh, keep reminding my social media followers about old blog posts. Now I don't have to do any of that. I just literally write my blog post, 5 minutes to create, probably less than 5 minutes actually, about 3 minutes to create some social posts, and then I can just forget about it. Like, I don't need to think about scheduling any more social media to advertise that blog post anymore. And then if we go flip back into CoSchedule and refresh, and then if we just scroll down, we're on Wednesday at the moment. If I just scroll down, you see there's an awful lot of blog posts going out, an awful lot of social media posts, sorry. You can see here that you have got those 4 social media posts that we have just created. And if you hover over any one of them, let's hover over this one, you can actually see the full social post. And if you decide that actually I don't like that anymore, then you can go here and just quickly delete that post, that social post, or you can duplicate it if you want a second one the same. Or if you suddenly think, oh no, I've made a mistake, I've done something wrong, you can click into any one of those and it will automatically open in the app. It'll open the post, and then you can decide, oh no, actually I don't want it to go out in an hour's time. I want it to go out right now, or I want it to go out at the best time, and click save. And then if we X out of that, it's rearranged itself to find a better time, a time when CoSchedule thinks will be better for that post to go out. So that's how you would add social media to any blog post that you create. Now, I would definitely advise that if you are creating social media for a particular blog post, that you do it that way round, that you go into the post, you go down to the bottom of the editing screen, and you add the social media associated with that blog post down at the bottom. And the reason I recommend you do that is because then if in the future you want to maybe change that in some way, or you want to be able to find that social media or all the social media associated with the blog post really quickly and easily, you can just go to the blog post and find it at the bottom there. But obviously, you're not always going to be creating social media that is associated with a particular blog post. So sometimes you're going to be creating social media like from scratch that's got nothing to do with a blog post. For example, I like to ask a lot of questions on social media. Now, the way to do this is you can start off here in the CoSchedule app, which is just app.coschedule.com, and you hit create. And then you can decide what you want to create. And in this case, we are going to create social, and we're going to create a social campaign. Now, a social campaign is just lots of social media messages. So if you wanted to do, for example, something similar to what we just did and create a message for all your different social media channels, or if you wanted to create like lots of different social media posts on different days. If you just want to create one social media post, you would use social message, and that will just allow you to quickly and easily create one post. But normally I would do a social campaign. So we're going to click on social campaign. And then you need to give your project a title. And all this is like an internal title for you to remind you what you've done. So let's say, for example, I want to ask my social media followers a question. So then let's type something like social media question, or I could call this question of the day or Monday question, or whatever I want to call it, just something internal for me to remember what it's called. The next thing I can do is I can give this a color if I would like. And this is just internal, just for me. This correlates to those colors you saw on that marketing calendar. And it's just nice to sometimes be able to see at a glance, oh, right, that's an easy peasy foodie post, that's my other blog, or that's a productive blogging post, or that's just social media. So I have a color for productive blogging social media. That's in my gold. So I'm going to put that as my color. And then you can choose the date and the time. Now, this date and time is just like the beginning of that social media campaign, so it doesn't massively matter. It defaults to the date and time that is right now. So I'm just going to leave that because I want everything to happen in relation to right now. So click on Create Project. And that will create a screen like this, which was very similar to that screen we saw at the bottom of my blog post just now. And then if your social media campaign relates to a particular link or a particular post, you can add that link or that post there. But as I said before, it's much better if it does relate to one of your blog posts that you actually create it down at the bottom of that post. If it doesn't relate to a post, then you can just ignore that section, and you can come down here and pick when you want your social media post to go out. So let's say we want these social media posts to go out tomorrow, let's say. So it's the day after publish, publish being that date you set in the previous screen. So tomorrow, that's Thursday. Let's click that. And then again, you get to choose your social media profile. So I'm going to do the exact same thing as I did before, and I'm going to choose my Facebook, my Instagram, my LinkedIn, and my Twitter, and click back into here. And then I can pose my social media question. So I don't know, maybe my social media question is something like this. Who here uses CoSchedule? What is your favorite feature? Okay, I like to ask a lot of questions on social media because I find I get really good engagement with questions. So that's the sort of thing I would ask. You could leave this without a photo if you wanted to, or if you wanted a photo, you could just add a photo. Okay, and this time, instead of going to all uploads like we did last time, let's upload a file from my computer. So, crikey, I've got a lot of CoSchedule going on here. So let's go to my productive blogging photos. Let's pick something from here, and let's go with this one. So it's just going to upload into CoSchedule, and then we can choose that. And then we can choose, again, we can adjust when we've got it sending. This is going to be day after publish. And at best time, I'm not going to bother to change that because it's going day after publish, it's going tomorrow. It's not going to suddenly send before I've had a chance to make any adjustments. And then do I want to add it to my requeue? Yes, I'll add that to my requeue, and I'll add it to my evergreen content as well. So again, that question will keep being sent out periodically and without me having to do anything. Okay, let's save that. And so now you can see all of those posts are in this screen here. And obviously if I wanted to, I could then adjust these just like I did before, but because this is just a simple question, I'm not going to bother doing that. And then I am going to do one more thing. Because this isn't in like a live blog post, it's automatically set as a draft. So what I need to do is schedule it. So take it out of draft and put it into scheduled, which I can just do by either clicking schedule now here, or I can go to where it says draft and choose published. It actually means scheduled because it's not going to happen till tomorrow, but published scheduled is the same thing here. Okay, so yes, I'm sure. So now this is all scheduled to go out tomorrow, Thursday, and at the time that CoSchedule thinks best. So again, we can X out of there, and you can see it's already in the calendar. So I don't know whether you can see, but if you look through the calendar, I don't think there's anything up here. Is anything up here? No, there's nothing there. I think it's down here. So you can see that's where my Instagram one is. It's going out then at 3:27 p.m. in the afternoon, but then my Facebook one's going out a bit later. I've got my Twitter one going out a bit later, and then the Instagram one, it thinks best to go out at 6:33 p.m. So CoSchedule chooses kind of the best times for me, so I don't need to kind of worry about when is the best time to send my social media, because CoSchedule does that all for me. Okay, so that's all pretty good so far, but it gets better because you can also create social media templates. So I'm just going to very quickly show you what that looks like. So let's go back to create. So you need to create a new social campaign again. So we'll go to new social campaign. We'll give this a title. Let's just give this an example title of new social campaign from template. Obviously you would do perhaps a more sensible title, but this is just an example. And again, I'm going to give it a color code, and I'm going to color code it as my productive blogging and social media. I'm just going to leave the time as it is, and I'm going to create that project. Okay, but this time, instead of going in and creating my posts here, I'm going to use a template. So if you come over here to templates, and you can create a template. And I'm going to create a new template. I'm just going to call this example 4, and then click next. And then what this allows you to do is to create a template of kind of, if you put in, say for example, a URL, it will auto-populate all your social posts for you, saving you even more time. So I'm going to show you how you would do a simple social template first, and then I'm going to show you how to do a little bit more of a more complicated one. So with this simple social template, we're just going to click on same day. So I'm going to imagine I'm sending out a blog post same day. And again, I want to send this to all of my social channels. But this time, let's do a slightly different one, and let's do something for Easy Peasy Foodie, which is my food blog. So I would pick my Easy Peasy Foodie social channels. And as I said before, I don't really just want the title, I want a bit of a blurb. But what CoSchedule offers is these, see these little things in curly brackets? These are called social helpers, and they're basically things which auto-populate with information either that you type in or that CoSchedule pulls in from your blog post. So I'm going to get rid of title, and I'm going to just click a curly bracket. So if you just type in a curly bracket, and it will give you, these are the 3 kind of automatic social helpers. So title, permalink, and excerpt. Excerpt is like the little blurb at the beginning of your blog post. So I'm going to choose excerpt, and I'm just going to take that space out. Okay, so this is now going to give me the blurb followed by the link. And then at the moment it's set up so it would just show me like that sort of preview box. I don't want that. what I want is an image. And if I take away that preview box, it's automatically added in. You can kind of sort of half see it here where it says link image. I could take that out completely and show you how to get that. So you just click in there, and then if you go to this template and choose link image, so that's like your featured image from your blog post, so it will automatically pull that in. So we've got 3 pieces of information kind of being automatically pulled in now: your excerpt, your permalink, and your feature image. So let's say, for example, with this template, what I want to happen is I want my blog post, when my blog post publishes, I would like my social media to go out, let's say 3 hours after my blog post publishes. Let's say that's what I like to happen. And I might choose to also add this to Requeue, and then at this time I would add that to my easy peasy foodie evergreen content Requeue group. So that's like a template that I've set up. Once you've decided, yes, I'm really happy with that, you then click save, and that will create this like template thing here. And then you can just X out of that. That kind of automatically saves for you. And then I'm going to come completely out of here actually, because what I want to show you is how this would work if I was just starting afresh. So you create this template once and then you don't have to do that again. So I'm going to come up here completely. And then let's say I want to create a new social media campaign for a new blog post that I've created in Easy Peasy Foodie. So what I would do is I would click on here, I'd create the new project, and let's say I want to share my chili con carne. So I might put in chili con carne. And then I would put that this is my Easy Peasy Foodie recipe, so that's my purple. I'll just keep this and create project. And then what I would do is I would go over to my templates, and I don't need to create a template because I've already created it. I'd choose the template, which is example 4. I would apply that template, and at the moment nothing's happened because we haven't added a blog post. But then if we add a blog post to this, so I'm going to go off and find my chili con carne now, just bear with me a sec. Okay, there it is. And just paste that in, and it should do something magical. Ta-da! Ah, look, it's all in there. So you've got, it's pulled in the blurb, it's pulled in the photo, and it's pulled in the permalink, the URL. So you can see you've got all of that information in, and it's kind of automatically created for you a social media post for each of your social media channels using all that information. So that's, once you've set up that template, and that template didn't take us long to create, did it? That was like 2 or 3 minutes to create a template. But once you've done that, then you can automatically create your social media for any blog post you choose, literally in seconds. I mean, that took me the length of time just to type in the URL. And actually, I could have gone into the back end of Easy Peasy Foodie, and I could have actually put that at the bottom of the editing screen in Easy Peasy Foodie, and then that would have been even less time because I wouldn't even had to create that social campaign or anything like that. I would just literally pull in that template and boom, all my social media would be there. So I hope you can appreciate quite how awesome that is. But I bet I know what you're thinking, and I bet what you're thinking is that's great, but it doesn't have the hashtags, and maybe I want to say something slightly different on Twitter compared to Instagram, and maybe I want to create more social media posts, and so on and so on. So if that is what you're thinking, I've got good news for you, because we can look at a different kind of template, and that is a template with bespoke social helpers. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm actually going to delete this because I don't want this. So I'm going to click on delete, and that should get rid of all of this. Yes, delete my project, don't want it anymore. And then I'm going to show you how to create a bespoke template. So we're going to go into create again, create another project, And this time I'm just going to call this, bespoke social helpers template because that's what we're doing. And I'm just going to create that project. Okay, so I'm going to go to templates and create template and create new. And you would name it. So okay, so you've got so far exactly what we did before, but instead of just going and creating the post as we did, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create helpers. Now in this section, what you're going to do is basically create kind of placeholders. So you're going to create a placeholder for each kind of social helper that you want. And then when you actually create the posts, you'll use those social helpers to kind of put what you want where you want. And then when you come to create the actual social media, you will populate those social helpers with the information. So that might sound kind of complicated, but it's not at all. So let's start off with creating a helper. So I'm going to create a new text helper. And this new text helper is going to be called blurb. So instead of CoSchedule pulling in my excerpt, I want to create a bespoke blurb to be like the text of my social post. Okay, and I'm going to create a new helper, which is going to be, for example, my Instagram hashtags. And then I'm going to create another helper, which is my Twitter hashtags. Okay, so that's going to allow me to create, as I said, my own blurb. So not the excerpt that CoSchedule pulls through from my blog post, but my own bespoke social media message. And then I've got the option for Instagram hashtags and Twitter hashtags. I can then create some helpers for images. So for example, maybe for Instagram and Facebook I want a square image, but maybe for Twitter I want a landscape image. So I can do that too. So create new image helper this time, and then this image helper is going to be called let's call it square image. And then another image helper which I can call landscape image. So that's so far so good. We've created our social helpers, very easy. Now we're going to come across and we're going to create the actual template. So we're going to add same day. I'm going to choose Easy Peasy Foodies social channels, and then obviously it's automatically populated it with title and permalink, but I don't want that. I want blurb and permalink. So I'm going to delete that, and then if I just do curly bracket there, can you see now it's come up with not just title, permalink and excerpt, but also the other text helpers that we created. So I'm going to choose blurb there. So now I'm going to have it having blurb, permalink, and I'm just going to leave it like that for now. I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to add here, instead of the link image, which is the featured image, I'm going to click out of that, and I'm going to select from this template. This time I've not just got the link image, I've also got my square image and my landscape image. So I'm just going to pull my square image for now and save. And then I'm going to say yes, I want that also added to the Easy Peasy Foodie evergreen content, and I'm going to save that. And then I'm just going to go into each of these posts and just make a few little tweaks. So I'm going to go into this one, this is the Twitter one, and I obviously want to add my Twitter hashtags. So again, if I just click on the curly bracket and Twitter hashtags there. So now I've got blurb, link, hashtags, which is exactly what I want it to appear. I don't want the square image though for Twitter, I want the landscape image. So this template, landscape image, save, save. So that's Twitter done nicely. Instagram, we've got the blurb, we've got the link, we've got the square image, yes, but what we want is the Instagram hashtags. So curly bracket, and I'm going to select Instagram hashtags and save. And then I think Facebook's fine as it is, yes, because we just got the blurb, the permalink. I don't tend to put hashtags on Facebook. And then we've got the square image. So that's all perfect. So I can X out of that. So that is my template. And as I've said before, that's all saved. So then when you would go into a new post, you can then select, or a new social campaign rather, when you go into a new social campaign, you can then come across here to templates, and you can select that template, which we just created, which is the bespoke social helpers template. And we select that. This time, remember how I said I wanted to create like my bespoke, my own blurb and my hashtags and everything like that. Now is your time when you're going to fill that information in. So I'm going to start off by adding a blurb. So let's just nick it from the chili con carne again. So I'm just going to grab some words from my chili con carne, and that's going to be my blurb. Obviously this blurb can be kind of anything you want it to be. And then I would create my Instagram hashtags. So that might be something like this. Okay, if I was doing it for real, I would probably put in a few more hashtags, but that will do for now. And then for Twitter, I might just do 2. And then I would need to add in my square image and my landscape image. So let's just do that quickly. So oops, not there. Sorry, I would go here and I would upload a file. And I'd go find my easy peasy 3D photos and grab an image that I want. And save. And that's my square image there. And then I would also pick my landscape image. Sorry, not there. I don't actually have any landscape images, so I'm just going to pretend this is my landscape image. Let's pick a different image so it's clear that it's a different image. Let's go with that one. Okay, you have to use your imagination that that's a landscape image. Okay. So once I have put in all my helpers, then I would just hit apply. And there's one thing missing, and that is I still need to put the link in. Because that's the link that we need for the actual link in the post. And then if I just click into one of these posts, just to give you an example, and there you've got all the information. So there you've got the kind of bespoke blurb, you've got the bespoke image, you've got the URL, or if I went into Instagram, you've got all of that, the bespoke blurb, you've got the link, you've got the hashtags, you've got the square image, everything already set up in Requeue. Now, I guess you might be thinking, well, you know, that seems like a lot of work. Wouldn't it just be quicker to kind of do it the original way that I showed you? And yes, that's true. If you were only creating 3 social media posts, it wouldn't be worth it doing it this way. Where this comes into its own is where you want to create multiple different posts. So you're creating maybe some posts this week and some posts for next week and some posts for the week after, and maybe you're putting sort of different images in each time. If you were creating a big load of social media and you wanted it just to auto-populate, like maybe you wanted to send a tweet out every day, or I don't know how you would want to do it, but if you want to send out lots of social media posts, that comes into its own then, because you only have to put the information in once in in this social helpers section, and then all that social media would auto-populate for all the different dates that you wanted it to go out in. So it kind of really depends on how you want to use CoSchedule and how you schedule your posts. Personally, I tend to do it the way that I showed you right at the beginning, where I just go to the bottom of my blog post and I create one basic social media campaign, one basic blurb with the link, and I add in the hashtags manually, and I just do it one post for each of my social channels, and then I add those all to my requeue, and that's done, and that takes 3 minutes or something. But if you're the sort of person who does like to add lots and lots of different posts going out at different times, this using bespoke helpers will make your life so very easy. Okay, so I'm going to X out of this. In fact, I'm just going to delete this because obviously I don't want this. So again, delete project. And then I just want to show you a couple more very small things that CoSchedule is really great for. The first thing is being able to duplicate a post. So let's just say, for example, I don't know, I just wanted to grab this post, this tweet here. I really like this tweet and I just really wanted to create an identical one. So actually, let's just go into the main. So this is the main campaign that tweet belonged to. If I decide, actually, I want to send out this exact same tweet 3 days in a row, for example. I don't know why I'd want to do this with this particular tweet, but you can imagine it for other things you might want to do that. So I could quickly go into there and I can quickly duplicate that. And then it will immediately sort of pop down here, but then I can just click into it and maybe I can change it. So actually I want that one to go out in a week's time at the best time, and I'm going to save. And then you can see now my duplicate one has popped down here, and maybe I want to duplicate that again and have that go out in another week's time, for example. So I just go into there, click in, and then I could schedule that for, in another week's time, the exact same tweet would appear. So if you do want to send the same message out, maybe 3 weeks in a row or something, it's very quick and easy to do that within CoSchedule. And then one last thing is sharing other people's posts on social media. Again, CoSchedule makes this really easy. So I'm just going to show you this with I've got this one set up here. So let's say, for example, I read this post on site structure that Yoast have written, and I thought, oh, that's brilliant. I really want to share this with my social media channels. You can get the Chrome extension for CoSchedule, which then lives up here. And then if I just click on that, and it sort of automatically populates here, and then I can choose where I want to share that. And let's say I decide, oh, I'd really like to share that with Twitter and Facebook. I can come here, I can choose my productive blogging Facebook and my productive blogging Twitter, and I can click in here. Now, for some reason, I'm not quite sure why this is. With Facebook, you have to create like a separate message, whereas the other ones you can create here. So if I just showed you this quickly, if I also had this one, see all of Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, they're all this message at the top, but Facebook has its separate message. I'm not sure why that is, but it's very easy to deal with. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And I'm going to now create a post. So let's just create something really simple here. Check out this really great post on site structure by Yoast, for example. And you can see here that it automatically tries to find who it is that you mean when you've typed in @Yoast. Obviously I meant Twitter Yoast because this is my Twitter message. So that's like automatically popped in there. So I know that I've got the right Twitter handle. And then I can just very easily copy that and paste that into my Facebook, but I just have to make sure that I come down here and yeah, there we go. So then it's now going to suggest again some different social media channels, and obviously this time I want Yoast on Facebook. So I'm going to pick Yoast on Facebook, and you can see Hopefully you can see that obviously it's kind of Facebook colour there and Twitter colour there, so that just helps me remember that I've got the right one. And then that would automatically post out, and again I can choose when I want to send it. I can choose whether I want to send it immediately or at the best time. I can give it a colour, and I think I've even got one of those. Yeah, I've got Productive Blogging Curated Content label, and let's say I'm going to do this an hour from now. It automatically populates this with today's date. So that's all set up, and it's automatically going to give me that preview window if I leave it like that, or I could add an image if I preferred. And then I'm just going to click save on that. And then if I went back to my calendar, I X out of that, and oh, it's already in. There you can see my bright pink curated content label, and if I hover over that, it will show you more details about that post that I've just written, and in fact it even shows the image there as well. Okay, so I hope you can see just how awesome CoSchedule is, and this isn't even everything CoSchedule does. This is just social media scheduling in CoSchedule. If you want to get CoSchedule for yourself, I would be super grateful if you would use my CoSchedule affiliate link, which is just productiveblogging.com/CoSchedule, and I'll put that link in the description below as well. It won't cost you any more to go through my affiliate link, but obviously I will get a small commission, which helps me fund this YouTube channel and my blog and, you know, my coffee habit as well. Okay, and if you are not sure if CoSchedule is right for you and you want to kind of get it and play with it, CoSchedule do a 14-day free trial as well, so you can test it out for 14 days, see what you think of it. If you love it, then you can get it, and if you don't, then I don't think you even have to put any credit card details in or anything. And if you enjoyed this video, you might also like to check out my full CoSchedule review, where I show you kind of all the different things that CoSchedule does. I will drop that link into the description. And if you would like more videos about CoSchedule, do let me know in the comments below, and I will try and produce some more videos on CoSchedule for you. Thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed watching it, I would love it if you would give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.